Welcome friends to the part 18 of this tutorial series. In this part we will create the auth service and define some authentication logic there. So to speed up things, I have already created a service, a blank service with the name auth. Okay, so first of all I'm going to define few variables. First one is my WordPress auth URL. This will be my environment dot auth URL, and other one will be WordPress JWT verify URL. This will be environment dot token verify URL. Next, I need the server URL or the backend URL. That's environment dot backend API URL. Next, I'll define an observable of auth state to be new behavior subject of type boolean, and the initial value will be false. I'll also define a private current auth state, a boolean set to false initially, and a return URL of type string. Next, in the constructor, I'll inject few services like HTTP client and my router service, router from Angular router. Then I need the storage from Angular storage or Ionic storage. Next, I need the loading controller from the loading controller, and also the route from activated route, and the last one will be my alert controller. With this all set, I'll create my first function here. That's my, will be an async login function which will take username type string and the password type string. And first of all, I'll check if there is any return URL or any information in the query params. Okay, so I'll use the route here, the route variable in snapshot. I can check for the query params with the name return URL. So if that is there, then it's alright. Also, I'll define new headers, new HTTP headers, and I'll set it with the name skip interceptor. Remember, we created a constant there in our backend interceptor, and pass it a value of null or an empty string. Also, I'll define a loader here, wait this dot loading controller, create that's the usual stuff, and animated true, backdrop dismiss true, message will be authenticating account, spinner will be prison, and let's give the ID of auth. Let's show the loading spinner as soon as you hit the login button. Then check if the current auth state is false, then do something else. If it's true, then return use this dot router to navigate to the home page. That's the case. Okay, and also we want to dismiss the loader here. Where is it? Not await loader dot dismiss. Return null, or return from this login block. And if that is false, we want to do something. We want to authenticate the user. So first I'll send HTTP post request to my backend or say WP auth URL, put a comma, and then in the body I'll send the username and password, and also I'll send the headers, and we'll subscribe to the event. This will give me some data of type auth response. I'll define this interface, couple of interfaces in my service here outside the class that I can use later on. Okay, so I copied it from my notes. So auth response, it will have token, user email, user nice name, and user display name. That is what I get from the backend after successful authentication. Okay, we'll check. First of all, let's dismiss the loader. Again, we don't want the loader. If data.token is not equals to null, we have a token, so we'll first set the current auth state to true, and we'll emit auth state with the current auth state, whatever value it has. Also, we'll use the storage service, set a key here, that will be my user, that, and the value will be not yet defined because I need to fetch the details. Okay, so I know I have a valid token, so I'll go to create a function here. It's private fetch user details. We will return this .http client.get and go to this backend or server URL slash customers, and email will be $email, which will be passed here, email as string, and let's pipe it to take only one. Basically we give only one result and the observable there, and mark it complete. Okay, so we'll go here, this dot fetch the details. So my data has user email, so let's subscribe, or we can simply convert this to a promise, and user my user of type customer model, yeah, and this will actually be inside a then block, okay, not inside the promise block. So click on user, we'll set the storage with the key of user, and this will be my user here. Then we have this return URL, so we want to send the user using this dot router dot navigate to this dot return URL. Okay. If the token is null, then simply set this to false, and we'll remove the key if set user. Do you have any clear method? Yeah, that's clear. Clears the entire key value store. I don't want to use it here. This will clear my card as well. So let's stick with this only. And in case we get an error response, this will be async function. First of all, again we will dismiss the loader. Dismiss, and then we'll set the state to false and check if error is an instance of HTTP error response, which it will be in case of a 403. So we'll set alert create an alert here, await this dot alert controller dot create, and message will be bad username or password. You don't want to give the user a hint that the username was incorrect or the password, so as to prevent any brute force attacks. And the text of the button will be nothing but OK. And header, let's do a header, authentication failed. And we'll present the alert here, alert dot present. If this is not the case, we'll have an else statement here. If something else went wrong, then in the message we want to use error.status text. Everything will remain the same. So that's our login function. Let's collapse it. Let's create the logout function quickly. Logout. So we'll say this.current.state equals to false. start auth state observable to current auth state, and this dot storage dot remove key user, and data key. Okay. Once that is done, we'll send the user to the home page. Okay. We'll also create an init function, because in case if the user refreshes the page, there should be a way for the app to check that the user was already authenticated. Alright, so the way it will do is we'll check the storage for data, because it will be stored, but token will be stored here in this data. So I think I missed it here. Yeah, so here this storage.set data, and this will be my data. I'll use the spread operator and we'll map the then statement. Inside this block, I'll have all this. Okay, like that. So set the data or the token. Here I'll remove the data as well, and in the init I'll set data, and I'll use the then block. Okay, mark it as async auto response, and if data dot token is not equal to null, so we'll first verify the token validity from backend. For that I'll use my post. That will be my wp jwt verify token URL, and in the body I'll simply send as token data.token. And options, I'll use headers, authorization header, the bearer token, so data.token, and I'll convert this whole thing to promise, because this will give me an observable, and chain it to the then block, and this will give me a response that will be JWT verify response. Type defined here. We'll have a code or data and the status number. Okay, so if res.data.status is equal to 200, then let's fetch user details, data.user email to promise, then user of type customer model, and this dot storage dot set user also this dot current user state should be true. This dot auth state next should be current user or current auth state, and that should be it. If that's not the case, else this dot current state is false and my auth state is this, and I can chain a catch block here. This will be my HTTP error response. I'll create another alert here is equal to await this dot alert controller dot create and message will be error.status text and animated true buttons roll off cancel with the text of okay. Alert.present. It's done. And this is what? This is my another block. Let's put a catch here, and this time I'm gonna log token not present. Okay, so that's my init function, and I'll call this init function whenever my app loads and my service gets initialized in my constructor. So this dot init. Okay. So that should be it, and we can also create the current auth state, because the services or the users will subscribe to that. So let's get auth state. So we observable of boolean and return. You can create a boolean observable of boolean wherein you can return this dot auth state here. It's not auth state dot as observable. You can do this, or let's also do get current auth state, which will be return this dot current auth state. To make it like this. Okay, so this returns boolean. So with that, we have finished the auth service, and if we go back here, refresh the page, so my auth service will get initialized, and I'll go here. I don't have any data, any user stored there. So in the next video, we'll create a user login form, and we'll try to authenticate the user using our auth service and see how we can subscribe to this auth state variable or observable, and also will create a route card to protect our checkout route. So we will mandate the login in order to check out the cart items. Okay, so we'll see all those things in the next video. So till then, please like, subscribe and share this video with your friends and colleagues. If you have any comments or suggestions, please put that in the comment section. below, and you will get the code in my GitHub repo. So till then, enjoy the series, and I'll see you in the next part. Bye bye.